From the depths of Nanaimo history, going right back to the days of mining, Nanaimo Museum hosts a tour by lamplight. Why by lamplight, Amy?
The tours cover some of the darker stories from Nanaimo's history.
Well, it's pretty dark in here right now at the coal mining exhibit at Nanaimo Museum, but we're going to be heading outside for the only time that this tour is going to be given in the daylight.
Let's go.
Awesome. So when it comes to these darker stories, how rich is Nanaimo's history?
I was surprised at how many stories I uncovered. There's a lot of places that we walk past on a daily basis that have darker histories, like where a hangman's scaffolding was or an old jail.
Like the Bastion, that would be an old jail.
That's right. Yeah, there was a jail for a short time in the Bastion. Hangings were done in different places than the Bastion, though. There was hangings were done on Protection Island at Gallows Point or just down on Skinner Street.
So with all the hangings happening other places, this was just a jail. Nobody actually died here. There's probably no ghosts in here.
There are some people that think the Bastion is haunted. We've had summer staff at the museum who were convinced that while they were on the first floor that they could hear cannonballs rolling on the second floor, even though no one was up there.
Wow, that's kind of creepy. So this definitely has a historic feel.
It does. You can
and it's
smell
one
it.
of the stops on the tour. Well, what makes it so significant for this tour?
Well, this is the jail that used to be in the basement of the Bastion, is where Kanaka Pete spent his last night. He was in the jail in the basement before he went over to Protection Island to be hung at Gallows Point.
And he was the axe murderer, killed his whole family. What was the jail like in here?
Well, it was described as a dark hole, not very nice conditions.
Fitting for what he did. Fitting.
And it was just really to be an overnight lockup, so it wasn't designed to have prisoners.
So the Bastion isn't all about cannons?
No.
Alrighty, I think it's time to go. It definitely stands out amongst the other buildings. How old is the courthouse?
It was built in 1895, and the architect was Francis Rattenbury, who designed the Empress and the Parliament buildings in Victoria.
So it definitely has some significance. What about its significance on this tour?
Well, some of Nanaimo's most infamous trials have happened here, including the trial of Brother 12.
What can you tell us about him?
Well, he was a cult leader. He had a colony in Cedar by the Sea in the 1920s. He was on trial for embezzling from his colony, abuse. He came to trial a few times, but for his last trial, he left town and never was actually held accountable for his crimes.
So maybe somebody got him before he made it to trial, got payback.
Well, he actually resurfaced the next year in Switzerland and he died. So the story ends very mysteriously.
There's definitely a lot of mysterious characters in Nanaimo's past, and I bet you there's a lot of mysterious characters in the present as well, but if you want to learn about the history, you got to do the tour yourself. In Nanaimo, I'm Kelly Robinson.